Around it. What do you see?
Well, the job market stopped crashing in May, and that's really, really important here. 2.5 million jobs were added to the payroll, so there was hiring, and it was mostly in leisure and hospitality and food and drink establishments. So you can see those limited reopenings, and the government mentions that in the report. The limited reopenings are starting to have an effect, and the jobless rate fell to 13.3%. That is still a devastatingly large number, but it's not that 20% that so many had been worried about. When you look within some of the categories, black unemployment still 16.8%. That is a devastating number for that sector as well. Hispanic unemployment still very, very high here, but 13.3% is the overall number. It is not that Depression era 20% that so many of us had been worried about. We are seeing the signs of reopening in the economy, right? We've seen mortgage applications rise because people are buying homes at low interest rates. The Vegas casinos are opening. The airlines are starting to add capacity. Hotels and restaurants are starting to note a rise in reservations. So slow reopenings has translated in 2.5 million jobs hired in the last month.
Really interesting, Christine. All right, also joining us, we have CNN anchor and correspondent Julia Chatterley and CNN White House correspondent John Harwood. Dow futures, Julia, are up. They are up 500, almost 600 points right now. Obviously, the stock market likes this news.
Absolutely. It was caught off guard, I think, to some degree. The reopening, the jobs hiring is happening far quicker, I think, than people expected. Remember, this report only takes us to May the 12th. So we've got another 3 weeks potentially of job gains that have already happened. This number is already out of date. The one caveat, and it's buried right at the bottom of this report, again, the Bureau of Labor saying here, this number would be 3 percentage points around higher if people were classifying themselves as unemployed rather than just absent from the workforce. So when you look at this 13% number, you have to add in another 3 percentage points. It's 16%. It's still, in any ordinary times, catastrophic in terms of the number of job losses that we're talking about. But again, the silver lining here is we are adding jobs back quicker than we thought.
Absolutely. And John Harwood, President Trump, is not surprisingly tweeting about this and tooting his own horn, saying, "Great job, President Trump."
Well, he has reason to gloat if, in fact, we have brought the unemployment rate down without deleterious effects on the dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. This is unequivocally good news, and it reflects the fact that we're not hitting, as Christine said, those 20% numbers. I should point out, though, this remains at 13%. The highest unemployment we have had since the Great Depression. And there's an interesting subtext here. This is going to decrease pressure in Congress to extend those unemployment benefits. This is something Democrats have pushed for, Republicans have resisted. On the other hand, government employment continues to go down. We've got these protests around the country that require massive law enforcement presence. Republicans have started making the argument that Democrats want to defund the police. Well, this is going to put pressure on Republicans to fund the police by aiding state and local governments, which are broke and otherwise will face tremendous pressure to continue reducing employment, including for first responders like police and fire.